What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY Reviews, we're going to take a look at something awesome, and it's going to be the Super MINIPLA Megazord from Bandai. Now, this is on loan to me from my good buddy David. He's brought us plenty of Power Ranger stuff in the past, and we have some other things to look at it as well that he brought over a few nights ago. But we have a great image of the Megazord right here. Nice little zoom in on a head. I'm assuming that says either Megazord or Daijujin, one or the other. You've got the big like Megazord coin there. You got all 5 original Rangers right there. Looks pretty awesome. Now I know he picked this up at Barnes & Noble because he called me to find out if I wanted one. And I'm like, I don't have any money. So he went ahead and did this guy up. Let's look at the box. And if you come down to the bottom, you got all 5 original Rangers right there. You got Megazord, Super MINIPLA, $59.95. Yeah, so this thing is going for about $60 in most places, but the original version, the original Japanese version, it was way more from at least my recollection and seeing it online. And it was somewhere in the 80 to 90 range, which is kind of ridiculous. But you got ages 15 and up. That's I'm right in the middle of that. Approved by the Toei Company. Excellent. So you come over here, you've got the Megazord in tank mode. You got Megazord battle mode, I guess. And over here, you got repeat. So you've got that, and come over here, you've got, this is the first time to look at all 4 sides. You got all 4 Zords, and then Megazord. And yeah, there's no normal, like, Gundam style stuff. So, hold on, I screwed that up. Wait, you didn't see that. Even the Megazord can end up upside down. Obviously, no build montage for this one, because it's going to be, already built. You dropped it off with me. It is what it is. It's got Bandai 2017. I don't believe there's any artwork or anything like that because it's just pictures of the thingy. So let's go ahead and get it out here and see how cool this thing actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the individual 5 Zords, and they actually look really, really good. Now, there's a couple things. Obviously, these things are very small, and they are covered totally in stickers, which, you know, any Mighty Morphin fan probably used to anyways, except for, like, the newer Legacy line. But I think they look really, really good. Now, David did tell me a few things, like, some of these are really, really annoying, like getting this in here, stuff like this. The black parts right here, which personally I would paint just to get these done and out of the way, but things like this up here, the eyes, stuff like that, totally worth it. But I'll go over each individual Zord here in a second, but you can see, as I said, they look really good, and you can totally put the pterodactyl on a normal like flight stand. It looks really good. A clear one would be really perfect, but if you have just a normal action base, that will totally work. It just has a plug right there in its booty. So I like how the camera doesn't know where to focus. So let's look down here like that. There we go. Now, just to give you guys a sense of scale, there's Wally. So these things are tiny. So even compared to a lot of the other things we look at, and it doesn't really scale with anything in the way of Gundams or anything. They kind of have their own scale for this whole line, so it just is what it is. So maybe the Super MINIPLA line, because they have Gal Gaigar and a few other things, maybe they have their own set scale. But just another comparison real quick, here's Barbatos Lupus, and you know, realistically, that's towering over the Zords. And, you know, the Zords themselves individually are fairly well large, probably at least Gundam size. So you can tell even HG scale Gundam is much bigger than these guys. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to go in order here. So we've got the little Mastodon. It looks pretty cool. The trunk does actually articulate a little bit. He's on a ball joint. You've just got the silver kind of molded plastic here for the tusks, the trunk, and the feet. Now you'll see that it's panel lined a little heavily, and he had to use the original old school fine point panel line markers because, as we'll see when we get to the T-Rex, there were some issues with using pore types. And you can see here the M logo there. He told me this is in fact embossed, like you actually get the molded detail underneath, but that is a sticker. The yellow piece is actually a thing. All of these are stickers right through here. The ears, eyes, all the details on the front are all stickers. I think they look really good. You can feel that this is molded underneath, but there's also like some holes right there, so I don't believe you could technically paint that really that well. But if I pick this set up for myself, I'll know. Now, you can see right there, there's a... Actually, you can't because of the way lights work. You can see there is a plug right there, so you can totally get this guy on a little action base if you want to. Not that your Mastodon is going to be flying around, but, you know, it is what it is. And just in the old school classic styling, you have these stickers that want to peel off, and you've got totally exposed hands coming out the rump right there. So, even with the... not everybody can copy what the SteelAngelJohn does, but... yeah, it's a very nice Mastodon. I mean, even the feet are molded in very well, and they're not hollow, except for the front parts up here. But the back, where the arms go, tend to be fairly hollow in the toy designs. You even get holes here, but these actually all, of course, come into play in Megazord mode. We'll go with the pterodactyl, and as I said, I'm just going to go ahead and drop it off the flight stand. But you can see, it just has a hole right there, and you can totally just... put it. Let's shrink this flight stand down just a little bit, make my life slightly easier. There we go. But it does look good. I like that you can do that. So pterodactyl was always one of my fun favorites. I always liked the flyer design of it. I guess I could lower the light I'm working with here. Alright, so you get all of the chest part here molded in that silver plastic. Same thing with the wings, same thing with the tail fins. The head is molded all in white, and all of the details are just stickers, as you would expect. Doesn't look like they're too bad, but I can see they would easily peel. You got all the stickers on the inside, as you would definitely need. Does all feel very nice. It all looks good. You even get the yellow detail stickers here. You can feel the texture, sort of, so I think some of the molded detail is in fact there, so if one were so inclined, you could totally paint this. Now, if I remember correctly, MMPR Toys, you know, good old Bruno, did say that, you know, if you really go for it, you could paint a lot of the details on. But it looks pretty good, and this one really does confirm what I said about the SteelAngelJohn line. You can definitely see that the wings are different lengths, and that's why they can fold in on top of each other, as opposed to the way the Legacy line did it. So, that's pretty neat. I actually like the pterodactyl. It's just a little birdie. Yes, it is. Now we've got the Triceratops, and, well, it looks like any Triceratops. Now, there's a big difference between these things and a lot of, like, Gunpla and other things. These feel like small toys. They don't feel like a model kit. Even in hand, the plastic does not feel like a model grade plastic. I do love the fact that you get wheels on this one, so it can try to roll at least. It's not rolling too well on my Surface. Plus, there are nubs, so that is part of the kit. Now, the head does move up and down, like so. I thought, yeah, it actually does have a little bit of movement in and of itself. The horns do move, though they don't have, like, the cool chain gimmick. You can see that the nose... I'm trying to figure out if David painted that, or that's really badly injected on the nose part. I don't know how it was assembled. Obviously, these blue pieces come in separately from the white pieces, and they're all sandwiched together. Now you get all of the stickers down the side, all those nice decals. I already said the black stripes here are really annoying, and they don't necessarily fit in the grooves. They're a little too big, or at least right. Painting these. And you also got a nice white molded bit on the inside, and you can see the panel lining is also very heavy, as one would expect. The only thing that sucks is, of course, these don't pop out, but that's what it do. It's very simple. The tail does in fact move. You do have the molded detail there. You do also get the little rocket launchers. I just realized I was way too close. So, I mean, the Triceratops does what the Triceratops does. And of course, I've said it before, this is one of my favorites just because of the tank mode. I really do dig it. And, you know, you can get a little bit of articulation out of it for foot mode, stuff like that. It's having a hard time focusing. Come on, focus. I don't know why my focus is set way out here. And you do get a molded piece plus a sticker right there. And I've got saber-toothed tiger, which is done easily as good as most of the toys, if not slightly better, because the wheels actually work here, and two of them at least work on the back. So that's neat. Now, one thing that sucks, and I didn't lose this, but he's missing a tooth. I think that must have got lost at their house, because at least from the time that he left it here, I have never seen that other tooth. I looked in the box just to make sure it's not there. I checked in and around all around my table where we had it sitting for a while. I did not find it. So, David, you need to probably look for that, though God knows where it could have ended up. Now, you do get the same detail stickers here, so you got the SIT logo right there. Looks pretty good. These right here are pretty terrible. You can see they're cut to the point where you're supposed to wrap them around, and you saw just there, there's issues, for sure. Now, painting some of this wouldn't be difficult, but trying to get a super fine white line there will be nearly impossible. And you can see that the panel lining is very heavy. On this one, he did kind of darken the mouth and stuff. That is fine. Red eye stickers in there. Sticker for the top. Works pretty good. Does have standard articulation. None of the joints down here work, so that's fine. The head does pivot like it should, so you can really get a kind of higher cat stance. The back legs work just like the basic toys would. No real articulation, like I said. And then the tail does flip forward, but not really in a meaningful shooting way, but it's there. You've got molded detail on the inside and some more black stickers, so these keep wanting to peel, just as the other ones do. And right here, it's funny, both of these have fallen off. It gives you two black stickers to go along the back side of the wheels here. That's easily paintable. But what's funny is, this is all molded silver, but then they give you a sticker that makes that chrome, so they don't even match to each other. But that's easily fixed with a little bit of paint, so not bad. I've seen definitely worse. I think the Legacy line, this is still better than mostly what the Legacy line gives you. So, it is what it is. And last and certainly not least, you have the T-Rex. Now, this one is the one that came with the most issues. However, I will discuss those in a second. But right now, you do see the very nicely molded and sculpted T-Rex. Now, as for these being on the back, I do this just because I don't know that they're technically supposed to be there, but where normally you could store these cannons in the chest, at least on the SHOKY, these don't fit. So it is what it is. You've got the tail, which has all these very nice stickers on here. I actually really dig these. They actually look really good. You get the little folded part. It does articulate. You got the legs. You got the nice sticker in there. Legs move just on some good ball joints. Gotta love that. You got knee movement. You've got ankle movement. So it does do its thing. You do have the blatant ports for where they go. It's just what it is. You actually get the waist rotation. So that's pretty awesome. And you get the basic arm articulation. But these are not like stupid tiny arms. They do actually have an okay reach for what they are. Head has no articulation. The mouth does not open. That's just painted on, and this whole top part right here where the eyes, all of that is one very big wraparound sticker, and that's a disappointment, but I get it, you know. But that would be an easy paint job. And you're wondering why I'm having a problem here, because I'm working on my desk with the camera because it's so small. And then you got a few stickers back here that are obviously peeling a little bit. And you got wraparound sticker right there and green sticker right there. Now real quick, the main problem that we have here is with the tail. You'll notice that it looks significantly darker than the rest. This is where David discovered that he had a problem panel lining. So he was using the pour type panel line markers, and when he went to clean it up, mind you, he was using 0% acetone, or whatever they call that, and it started taking plastic with it. So he's starting to see red come off. And that's obviously not good. Now, I tried the regular rub approach. Didn't work anywhere near as well. I think I'm only getting, I'm getting just a little bit just by doing normal rub technique here. He even tried using, regular just isopropyl alcohol. And it was having a hard time and still melting the plastic. So there's something here. This is one reason why I say this is not made like a normal, Gundam kit, because this plastic, at least the red, it was melting just by using panel line marker. That's why it's a lot heavier in other places, and he started using the regular panel line marker instead. But that's why it's a little bit sloppy. Personally, I don't think I would panel line this myself. I think I would leave a lot of the details, because, I mean, they're not super heavy panel lined, and realistically, the toys never are. Now, while it does add detail, obviously if it's going to be a problem, literally with the makeup of the plastic, like I said, this feels like a toy. It doesn't feel like a model. I think that, you know, it's definitely not worth it. But, you know, at least with T-Rex, he does actually have some really nice posing, but the head doesn't move, like I said, because the way that they designed this to work in Megazord mode just flat out doesn't do the thing. Now, real quick, I guess we'll go ahead and start getting it into combine mode. So first and foremost, we'll go ahead and pull the back cannons off. Like I said, I don't think those are technically supposed to go there, but I don't know where they would go elsewise. Go ahead and fold up the arms. And flip the tail, or just take it off completely, whatever. Flip the tail down, just get it up and out of the way. Go ahead and fold the legs totally flat. Pretty much like that. Now, you're going to have to pull the chest out, and we're going to have to do a little bit of, just don't look at it. You know, just, this is all fakery. Don't look at it. So we didn't see that. Okay, turning it that way just to hide the obvious. All right, so the chest does come off. It doesn't hinge. But what you want to do, you have to come up here. You have to push that little panel out, and then reassemble the T-Rex part. Now, the head does have a couple slots right there. That's how you put the actual T-Rex face back on. So basically, we've got him in a squatted T-Rex mode. I'm going to hold on to this, which, by the way, all stickers. Then grab the Mastodon. I'm going to pull the head off. Just got a couple pegs right there. Kind of hard to see. I accidentally peeling that sticker back. All right, so you have this hinged guy in here, which is causing me problems. There we go. I'll pull that out about as far as it'll go. Take this, and you're going to peg it inside here. There's not a lot of room to work, so you just got to do it. So, handy dandy storage right there. Now you've got this little circular peg that will plug into the chest of the T-Rex. So just do that like you should. And this transforms just as it normally would. Just crack the egg to kind of straighten the arms out a little bit. Go ahead and rotate. Actually, no, I'm sorry. In this case, you don't rotate the arms out, but you want to get these like that. I forgot. We're going to tank mode. We're not going to Megazord mode yet. So, more or less like that. Go ahead and grab your cannons and put them on like so. Now, you can have these whichever way you feel like putting them. You can do the vertical. You can do it horizontal. Whichever way. I'm going with this way for now. And to plug it in, got to see in here, you've got a bunch of plugs. So you got those posts right there, and they go into the ports on the back of the T-Rex. And you've also got these right here that will plug into those right there. So just like any others, you just wrap it around, you know, plug that in, and then close that up. There's not a very strong click or anything. It's just kind of a friction deal. So that's what you're going to do there. Real easy. Now, of course, take your Triceratops, head down, flop that down. Now, this is where things get a little different. So instead of like a Zord Builder port, you've got something like this. So you flip this guy out, straighten that out, and literally just go ahead and plug that in like so, and then kind of accordion. Now I do it that way just because it's a little bit easier, and with the with Saber-Tooth Tiger, just do the thing. You basically lay it down, and this one, is a lot stiffer. So I use the built-in kind of spudger here and grab the sword to try to pry it out. There we go. So it's a little stiffer, so you go ahead and fold down your port, plug it in, and collapse it in. Fold the tail up just a little. Go ahead and get most of the tank mode lined up. Once you got the hips and stuff set, it's actually not bad. Now, you're supposed to have a little bit more lean on it because it's in tank mode, so you don't want it straight up and down. And then you want to take your pterodactyl, put the head up, you want to fold the wings in. Oops, sorry. Fold the wings in, and then you can see it's got a couple of grooves right there that correspond to the feet back here. So you just do that number, and then just kind of fold the tail up. Now, if you want to, you can leave this up for a little bit of stability. One of the main ways the tail usually would be almost flat, but that's pretty much how you're going to do it. What are you doing there? What do you got going on here, Mastodon? So there we have the Megazord in tank mode. Looks pretty good. You have to finagle the arms a little bit, and like I said, they don't tab in super strongly, but it is what it is. Now I'm going to stop for a second and actually get a couple pictures of this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get it into Megazord mode as you would expect. So I'll just start by pulling off the pterodactyl, pull off the cannons, and pretty much ready to go. So go ahead and fold the tail up, you tab it into the back, that will help secure that. And of course you want to stand it up. Yeah! Of course, that doesn't necessarily work, but what you want to do is fold up the head there, fold up the head there, flip up the tooth there. And there he is, standing, a lot taller than I anticipated, so there we go. Go ahead and slap these guys on the back. Now, part of me wondered if you could lower these a little bit, and you can actually rotate these guys, but it didn't really serve a purpose. It ends up, I mean, it'll get the cannons a little bit lower, but then you end up with a big gap. So probably not worth it. So if those were solid, I would totally actually do that. But that's just what you got. Okay, go ahead and fold down the arms. Go ahead and flip that up. Rotate the fist out as you do. Now, if you need to, you flip that in just a little bit to clear the hands. That's almost a given on these modern Megazords. Now you want to pull the head out here. Go ahead and pull that out just to have room to get this part out. Basically undoing what you did before. Now this is on a hinge. You can see right there, and it just tabs in all the way on the inside. Which is not the easiest thing to aim and get in there, but you know, it do what it do. Now what we want to do here, go ahead and pop up the T-Rex head. Now you don't get the same old Megazord head transformation, obviously, because of what we've got going on here. So you pull the whole front bit off like you do. This part just tabs into the top of the chest. So set that aside. I'm trying to remember if it actually shows somewhere for it to go, but I don't think it does. But you want to go ahead and put this part back in. Take the T-Rex head, just more or less stick this just in here. I don't think there's the instructions showed something, but I don't think there's anything in particular that you need to do. But as long as you get it in there, you tuck the head away, peeling that sticker up. Then you get the neighbor kids running around very loudly upstairs. That's part of your transformation. If you don't have that, then your Megazord will never be complete. Okay, and then grab your pterodactyl. Go ahead and unfold the wings. Fold the head away. You guys know how we do. And you've got two big pegs. A couple ports over there. Go ahead and slap that on. Fold out the ears, and Megazord transformation is complete. Lightning! Yeah, Megazord. Alright, so in Megazord mode, it does have lots of articulation. The head will rotate now, so that's pretty awesome. And the head is molded very nicely, and of course, like I said, stickers. Though it looks like this is painted. Like, this is painted, the white is painted, the eyes actually look painted, the mouth plate looks painted. You guys can't see that, but then you got stickers. So I think, realistically, part of this came painted, like a toy would. I'd have to ask David for sure, but if you've built this, let me know. Now, the arms do have nice rotation here. You actually have a good shoulder joint. A little stiff, but it's there. So he can do a decent high teacher, sort of. If you get the angles right, there we go. High Megazord, you know. It does have bicep rotation, which is awesome. You do get elbows, single jointed, just straight up hinged elbows, no biggie. You've got wrist articulation, so this is already better than a lot of the Legacy line, or even some of the classic Megazord, so yay for that. You do have waist rotation a little bit. If you unplug the tail, you get waist rotation. You can remove the tail entirely. That's on you. So I mean, if you want to, it just comes right off that peg. But if you're going to pose it, you can totally just do it the easy way. The legs do kick forward very far. So very nice Megazord kick. And you actually get it to go back only about that far until you can use the knee. So technically you get a double jointed knee to a degree, so no pun intended. So you've got it where it'll move here, but then using that extra joint there is awesome. So that's actually very similar to, I think the SteelAngelJohn does something very, very similar. Of course you get the reverse Megazord knee bend, but nobody wants that because that hurts. And you do also get rotation, although be careful. So you can actually pivot right there just at the knee. And the feet are a little bit different. So you can leave it just blank like so. But if you actually do a little bit of work, you can get more articulation. So if you're wondering why there's a big line right there, it's because you can totally yoink that off. Oop, that was the wrong way. Ow! Thumbnails. Once again, you're going to need your sword of spudger. Sword of spudginess. Flip out this nice big ball joint, and you've got the receiving hole there. Do the same thing to the saber-tooth kitty. And I think this was a brilliant idea, realistically. Like, just except for how tight that joint is. And once again, you can't have a Megazord without the children running around upstairs like elephants. Plug that in, and now you've actually got some feet articulation on your Megazord. So that's awesome. Like, that really does, that gives you a lot more posability out of it. And that's one thing this thing does definitely have. It has posability. It has personality. And that's awesome. It really reminds me of that small Robot Spirits, or what, dang it. It's not the SteelAngelJohn, the smaller version that we saw that I looked at from Daniel not long ago. And you do get weapons, of course. I did not forget about that. So you have the Mammoth Shield that plugs in using this large square peg, like so. Just go ahead and pop the hand off. It's so much easier just pop the hand off. Hold on, now I know how the hands connect. It's kind of small in the way of the Mammoth Shield, but it is what it is. And of course, you got the Power Sword. We need Power Sword! Which orbits the Earth and then comes crashing down. Looks really good, decently molded detail, really big, empty, like fuller groove there, which I don't know if that's really should be that way, at least the way it's designed here. But you can mold it in like lightning flames there. This would look amazing if you hit it with some chrome paint. It would just be perfect. But he does hold it, so you can get yourself a really awesome little mini Megazord. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Is it $60 good? I don't know. You tell me. Now, of course, if one is so inclined, you can put him up on a stand if you really want to actually get a nice action pose. It totally does do that. So I think it's a really, really cool investment. Considering it's not exactly a model, it's more like a toy you put together yourself. I mean, it's a hard sell at $60. I'm sorry, it really is. Now, if I catch it on sale for maybe about $40, that's probably a little bit more worth it to me. I'm just gonna go ahead and punch the tripod while I reach for things. So just take him off the stand for a second. And you see how those legs, those feet really can hold a pose. But let's bring him in next to an HG scale Gundam, and you can see they're roughly the same size. He's a little bit taller, but obviously scale-wise doesn't really apply here. So, you know, Bartos Lupus should be not even maybe a knee high to the Megazord. And bring it in next to Wally, so obviously it gains quite a lot of height here. Now, I wish I had that other Megazord to really look at in comparison. And the Soul Chogokin, well, that's not even really a comparison. That's going to tower over it. This guy probably not even the height of the knees on the Soul Chogokin version. But I really do dig it. And, of course, the Dragonzord is out as well. And it does combine with this. Now, I do really want to pick these up. I really do. And, of course, Titanus, I'm not sure it's out yet, but it's coming. And that version is ridiculously expensive. It is $130 from what I've seen. But it's the first version of Titanus we've gotten since the original that is motorized. So maybe that makes it worth it to you. I think having a full-on version of the Ultrazord that combines, that looks fairly well accurate, and is motorized when in Ultrazord form, might be worth it, but that's a total of roughly $250 for all of these, and that's close to the Legacy line price, and you're not even getting remotely close to the Legacy line size. And of course, Soul Chogokin is totally on a different scale altogether, but this I think is significantly an upgrade from some things. If you really go to town and paint this, although you really need to research and make sure that you're not going to do any damage, you're not going to melt the plastic when painting, by all means go for that. Obviously the panel liner did some damage back here, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but this just feels slick now. Like it's almost like it's just oily from breakdown. But I like it. I think it's cool. I want to pick one up, but if I can catch it at a better price, I definitely will. I think the Dragonzord looks really, really cool as well, and that's actually cheaper. So that's going to be a little bit more worth it to me. Oh, you do have to watch out for this part of the pterodactyl keeps wanting to come off. But if you're a big fan of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you really love the OG Megazord, I think this is a good buy. Just find it at a better price. But I think design-wise, it's actually very, very well done. And for the fact that it's more like a toy, less like a model, you get a little bit more out of it, so to speak. And if they continue this line past Mighty Morphin, I'm not going to complain. Although the stickers, while well-engineered, do leave a little bit to be desired. So make that judgment call on your own. And if you have this thing, let me know how much you love it. If you just love it in general, just from what you're seeing here, by all means, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe if you are new here or you dig what I'm doing. And if you want to help support the channel, I've got the Shoky merch store down there. You can buy any of these t-shirts right here. I really do dig my own designs, and my shirt should actually come in today. That would be really fun. And if you guys want to support in other ways, you have the Patreon. If you want to become a patroneer and help support the channel a little bit, and maybe even choose some of the things I review right here on the screen, go over there, be like John, Andy, Steve, and Colby. It's a long speech. And if you guys want to go check out the Lupus for Lupus contest, you can either join or just help support a good cause right here on the screen, and of course at the end, credits. I will catch you guys on the next review, and remember, as always, let the power be with you.